You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Expert alarmed as sordid prediction about Trump DOJ inching closer to coming true, based on an article by Nicole Charky-Chowmy. The Justice Department is a bargaining chip. What the story actually says. The reporting here is not about a clean legal process. It is about a possible Trump Department of Justice deal, floated by Norman Ornstein and echoed by Tara Setmayer, in which Todd Blanche will allegedly trade leniency for Nicolás Maduro and his wife in exchange for a false claim that Venezuela interfered in the 2020 U.S. election. That is the entire shape of the story. An unsubstantiated allegation, a political workaround, and an administration supposedly willing to weaponize federal power to launder a lie. Follow the power. The actor with actual institutional power is not Maduro. It is the Trump DOJ, acting through Todd Blanche and, by implication, the White House orbit around him. Maduro may be the captured figure in the headline, but the leverage belongs to the American state. That is the first clue that this is not a foreign policy story in any meaningful sense. It is an internal regime management story, with DOJ reduced to a transactional instrument for election denial. The lie is the point. The reported bargain is not merely cynical. It is structurally dishonest. The alleged payoff is not evidence, not accountability, not even a policy concession. It is a manufactured confession to a claim the source itself calls unsubstantiated. That matters. Authoritarian politics does not need people to believe every lie. It only needs institutions willing to behave as if the lie might be useful. Who is enabling whom? Setmayer's comment, as quoted, points to a familiar pattern: firings, reshuffles, and loyalists creating room for a scheme to move forward. Whether every detail is right is beside the larger point. The enabling mechanism is the same one that has powered the Trump operation for years. Purge internal obstacles, replace them with operators, then use official authority as if it were campaign infrastructure. That is not confusion. It is design. The framing is weak on purpose. The story gestures toward political experts reacting to a rumor, but the deeper issue is not the rumor itself. It is how easily American media and political commentary can drift into treating deliberate state sabotage as a strange bit of intrigue. The framing risks flattening a straightforward abuse of power into palace gossip. If the Justice Department is being used to extract a false statement for domestic political gain, then the relevant category is not dramatic development. It is institutional corruption with an election denial purpose. Bigger than Maduro. This is the old authoritarian move in a new suit. Convert public power into private narrative control, then use that narrative to cover previous failures and future intimidation. The Venezuelan dictator is the prop. The target is the American electorate. The lesson is not that Trump allies are inventive. It is that they are willing to drag federal institutions into the service of a lie if it helps rewrite the record of 2020 and scramble the next election. Systemic error. The underlying pattern is plain. When democratic institutions are weak, captured, or staffed by people who confuse loyalty with legitimacy, the government itself becomes a disinformation machine. The danger is not a single outrageous deal. It is the normalization of bargaining over truth at the level of state power. That is how authoritarian politics metastasizes, not through one dramatic break, but through 100 administrative choices that teach the country to accept lies as procedure. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article. With the automated voice of Kuzul, thanks for listening.